Good day everyone. So this module discusses the different principles, tools, and techniques used in a business to identify commercial opportunities. So it is also discussed about the business industries operating in the Philippines. Moreover, this module will provide you with information on the nature and types of industry.
Business organization. So first, let us define business organization. It is an entity formed for the purpose of carrying one commercial enterprise. Such an organization is predicated on systems of law governing contract and exchange, property rights, and incorporation. There are four ways to form a business: the sole proprietorship, partnership, corporations, and cooperative. So the first is sole proprietorship. When I say sole proprietorship, this is generally the simplest ways to set up a business. A sole proprietorship is owned by a single individual who is singly responsible for running the business and is accountable for all the debts and obligations related to the business. The advantage of sole proprietorship is that the owner makes all the decisions like the location of the business, who to hire, what to sell, and the owner is not bound to share the profits with anyone else. The disadvantage of sole proprietorship is that he shoulders all the losses and has unlimited liability, which means payment of his loans will extend to his personal assets, and when he dies, the business will be terminated. So, the second is partnership. A partnership is an agreement in which two or more persons put together the resources in a business for the purpose of making profit. The profits to be earned will be divided among the partners according to the terms of agreement. So, the advantage of partnership is that each owner can help with financing, start-up costs, sharing knowledge and experience. The disadvantage of partnership is that equal sharing of profit they put into start the business. There are two types of partnership. The first one is the general partnership. It is a business arrangement by which two or more individuals agree to share in all assets, profits, financial, and legal liabilities of the business. The second one is the limited partnership. It is consisting of general partnership who manage the business and has unlimited liability for the debts and obligations of the business.
Corporation. A corporation is a legal entity that is separate from its owner, which is called the shareholders. No stockholders is personally liable for the obligation of debts or acts of the corporation. The legal entity of the corporation gives it an individual identity of its own. Corporation normally exists for a life of 50 years, which is renewable for another 50 years. Owners have limited liabilities, however, corporations are burdened by heavy taxes. Cooperative. A cooperative is an entity organized by people with similar interests in needs to provide themselves with sources and goods or to jointly use available resources to uplift their financial status. Cooperative members have the same level of powers when it comes to the decision making. With one vote per member, regardless of member of shares held, there is voluntary and open membership, and excess earning is returned to the members in accordance to the amount of their patronage.
SWOT, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It is an analytical framework that can help a company meet its challenges and identify new markets. The framework can help identify the business's risks and rewards. It is also associated with the internal and external forces that may affect the business. It is very helpful in assessing new ventures. Strengths and weaknesses actually refers to the internal factors, and these are the resources and expenses readily available to the business proponent.
Porter's 5 forces of competitive analysis. So first is supplier power, an evaluation of how easy it is for supplier to drive up prices. the degree of control a provider of goods or services can exert on its buyers. Suppliers have the power to influence price as well as the availability of resources or inputs. Suppliers are the most powerful when companies are dependent on them and cannot switch into another suppliers because of higher costs or lack of alternative sources. Second is buyer power, an evaluation of how easy it is for buyers to control prices down. Buyer bargaining power refers to the pressure consumer can exert on business to get them to provide higher quality products, better customer service, and lower prices. A good example of when buyers have influence is assurance for cars, house, and travel. A buyer can bargain when an insurer wanting to increase their premiums if there are plenty of other companies offering the same service cheaper. Third is competitive rivalry. Number of capability of competitors in the market will also impact on the attractiveness of the market. Competitive rivalry is the measure of the extent of competition among existing firms. Intense rivalry can limit profit and lead to competitive moves, including price cutting, increased advertising expenditures, or spending on service or product improvement and innovation. Example of competitive rivalry, both companies are similar sizes and offer a similar range of product. Since there is a little differentiation between their product, both boxers are suffering from a decrease of consumer purchases and high competitive rivalry. Fourth is threat of substitution. Buyers will switch to alternatives in case of price increases. Companies are concerned that substitute product or services may displace their own. The threat of substitution is high when rivals or companies outside the industry offer more attractive and or lower cost product. On the other hand, the lack of close substitute products make an industry less competitive and increase profit potential for the firms in the industry. A threat of substitute example is the beverage industry due to the market with many competitors. The threat of substitute is the availability of other product that a customer could purchase from outside an industry. The competitive structure of an industry is threatened when there is a substitute product available that offer a reasonable close benefits match out a competitive price. Last is threat of new entry. Investor join the bandwagon when market is profitable and get a share of the profit. Refers to the threat that new competitor pose to current players within the industry. It is one of the forces that shape the competitive landscape of the industry, and it helps determine the attractiveness of the industry. New entrants are businesses that want to enter your market. Your power is affected by the ability of others to enter the market. New competitors can easily enter your market when there are low entry costs, few economies of scale, no knowledge, intensity, and little protection of key technologies. Example, a clothing designer selling their own merchandise on an online platform may face a high threat of new entrants from other small businesses who may enter the market and sell similar design at a comparable price. That's all for Porter's 5 forces of competitive position analysis.
Industry analysis. The following important factors are included in the industry analysis in preparing project feasibility studies and business development. What is industry analysis? An industry analysis is a marketing process that provides statistics about the market potential of your business products and services.
Competition is the rivalry between sellers selling the similar product and services with the aim to win their customers. Convince them to buy from you instead they remain as loyal customer.
Competition. Intraspecific competition occurs between members of the same species. For example, two male birds of the same species might compete for mates in the same area. is an individual or groups that purchases goods and services. The target market must be identified. Customer. Customer is a kind of person who is very likely to buy the product or services offered by the seller or business. Suppliers is an entity that supplies goods and services in the market. A supplier is a person, business, or entity that provides products or services to another entity. Substitutes are goods that can be utilized in replace of other. Example of substitute is a $1 bill is a perfect substitute for another dollar bill.
The types of industries. There are 5 types of industries. First, agribusiness. Agriculture has been defined as the science and art of producing livestock and cultivating plants. The agriculture sector has been an important component of the Philippine economy. It has been a major source of employment to millions of Filipino workers, and it contributed 1/3 of the country's gross domestic product in 1970s, but it declined to 8.74% in 2016. Because of this, a number of initiatives has been implemented to enhance the sector's productivity. One of these is the development of the production of food grains and crops like rice, banana, pineapple, coffee, corn, coconut, and calamansi. The development of fish and animal production have been implemented too. For animal production, there are 2 types that can be engaged to. One is livestock and the other is poultry. These two are commonly engaged by the small entrepreneurs which provide livelihood that can provide income and employment opportunities to poor households. And the second is retail. Retail includes the sale of merchandise from one point of purchase directly to a consumer who tends to utilize that product. The single purchase could be a brick-and-mortar retail store, a catalog, an internet shopping website, or even a mobile phone. The retail activity is at the last point of the chain. Manufacturers sell huge quantities of goods to retailers, and retailers tend to sell those same quantities of goods to customers.
Service. A service industry is any industry that produces value that is primarily intangible, such as advice, consultation, customer service, knowledge management, data, and experiences. Advanced economies are undergoing to a long-term shift whereby service industries are turning into a larger component of economic output similar to other industries such as agriculture and manufacturing. Manufacturing. Manufacturing is the processing of raw materials into finished goods through the use of equipment, tools, and processes. Manufacturing is the process that allows enterprises to sell finished products at a price over the cost of raw materials used. Manufacturing, any industry that produces product from the raw materials by the use of human labor or machinery and that is normally carried out orderly with division of works. In the common sense, manufacturing denotes the assembly of parts into finished products on an equal large scale. Among the most essential manufacturing industries are those that make aircraft, computer, chemicals, refined petroleum products, consumer electronic, clothing, electrical equipment, furniture, heavy machinery, ships, steel, automobiles, and tools and dies.
Number 5 is international trade. So international trade is the exchange of service and goods from one country to another country. This type of trade gives opportunity to a world economy in which prices or demand and supply affect and are affected by global events. So, what's an import? So, An import is a good or services that brought from the other country. The word import comes from the word port, since goods are often traveled via ships or boats to foreign countries. Countries are often like to import goods that their local industries cannot produce as effectively or at low price as the exporting country. So countries can also import raw materials that can be found within its borders. So on the other hand, what is an export? So export are goods and services made in one country and sold to buyer in other. Export are important to modern economies because they provide opportunities to people and firms many channels of distribution for their goods. So one major functions of the diplomacy and foreign policy between countries is to improve economic trade, encouraging imports and export for the advantages of all trading parties.